Today we're going to look at reviewing how to write equations of lines, so they'll all be nice linear equations. We're going to look at two forms of equations. The first one we're going to look at is the point-slope form of an equation. It's a useful form of a linear equation that's used when we know or can calculate the slope and also are given a point. So if you're given a point, x1, y1, and a slope of m, your equation would be y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And just like when we did the distance formula, what I like to do is I like to write the formula without the given information, without the x1, y1, and without the m, so that I just have to plug them in. So my formula without the x1 and the y1 would be y minus, and then I'm going to leave that space for y1, equals, I'm going to leave that space for the m, times x minus, and then I'm going to leave a space for the x1. Okay, so now I just have to fill in. The first space is going to be my y1, which is going to be the only y value I have. In this case, that's 3. And then the next space is my m. In this case, it's also 3. And then my x1, when I look at my x value, the only x I have is 2. Okay? This equation is in point-slope form because I can see what my point was. Now notice my point was a positive 2, a positive 3. In my formula, it kind of looks like it's a minus 2 and a minus 3, right? Because there was already that minus in the formula. 2 and 3, and then my slope is 3. We leave it exactly like this. The only time we ever have to do any more simplification is if I'm left with a double negative or if the x or the y are a 0. And we'll look and see what that looks like when we get down to example 3. Okay, let's look at the next one. Line 2, I'm going to do the exact same process that I just did on the last one. I'm going to write the formula without the y1, the m, and the x1. So I'm going to do y minus y1 equals m times x minus, I'm going to leave a space for x1. And then I'm going to fill them in. My first space is the y1. So y, the only y I have is 7. The next space is the m. So I'm going to fill in the m with the 3. And then my last space is the x1, which in this case is a negative 4. So remember I said we only have to rewrite our equation if we end up with a double negative or a 0. Since I have a double negative right here minus a negative 4, I want to rewrite it so that that's a plus sign. So y minus 7 equals 3 times, I'm going to change this to x plus 4. That is going to be my simplified answer. Okay? I leave it just like that. Let's look at the next one, number 3. I'm going to start off doing the exact same thing that I did before, where I'm going to write my equation without the y1, the m, or the x. So I'm going to do y minus, leave a space for y1, m, parentheses, x minus x1, parentheses, and then I'm going to fill in. So my first blank is the y1. That's the only y value I have, which is 3. My m is a negative 4, and then my 0 goes here. Okay, so I did say we do want to go ahead and simplify when we have zeros, because I can do x minus 0, that's just x when you take 0 away from anything, right? So if I just have an x here, it's just negative 4 times x, I can just put that as negative 4x. So y minus 3 equals negative 4x, because x minus 0 is just x. So that negative 4 is being multiplied to just x. Okay. The next one, number 4, I'm going to do the exact same thing I did before. I'm going to start with my empty formula, y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Y minus y1, my y value is 2, equals m. My m value is negative 5. x minus x1, my x1 is 7. I don't have any double negatives or zeros, so I don't have to do any further simplification. This is my answer. Okay? All right, let's look at number 5. When I look at number 5, same exact process. Okay? For number 5, y minus, leave a space for y1, equals, leave a space for m, times x minus, leave a space for x1, and close my parentheses. y1 is negative 2. Notice I have minus and negative, so I'm going to have to simplify that. My slope is 2/3. And then x minus, my x is a negative 6. So I have a double negative in both places. So I do need to rewrite it as y plus 2 equals 2/3 times x plus 6. So this is my simplified equation that is still in point slope form. I can look at that and say I know that my point was negative 6, negative 2 because the signs changed. And I know my slope was 2/3. Okay? All right, number 6. We have a slope of negative 3/2, and it contains the point negative 2, negative 6. So what this means, I don't think I covered that really. When I graph this, it's going to have a slope of negative 2/3, and it's going to pass through this xy point on the graph. Okay? All right, so y minus something, the y1, equals a slope times x minus an x. So now I'm going to fill it in. The y goes with the y, negative 6. So I can see I'm going to have to rewrite it because I have my double negative. Negative 3/2 for my slope. And negative 2 for my x. I'm going to have to rewrite this one also because double negative. So y plus 6 equals negative 3/2 times x plus 2. Okay? All right, now look at number 7, 8, 9, and 10. These are a little bit different, okay? For 7, 8, 9, and 10, we're going to have to actually calculate our slope first, okay? So if you want, you can go ahead and look at those 4 points, pause the screen, and go ahead and see if you can calculate the slope for those the way we did in the last lesson, and then we'll come back in the next video and we will check to see how you did on those. Okay, and then we'll write our equation in point slope form. Thank you so much for watching.